We are saying welcome Kuda to the academy. So that's Kuda for you. It's his first lesson. So I want you to check his performance after our first 10 lessons on our first package for beginners. You are going to test fine. So this is a place for your kids to be. If you want them to learn how to sing, how to play an instrument, just bring them to Ango Teddy. We do our best and we say we show the way, he will walk the way. Right. So from what we learned and it in our first lesson, we learned that you need to master the physical pattern of the piano, right? Yes. Where we said the first feature that you see on a piano, you are going to see that it has got black and white keys. And then the second thing is about to see the pattern. The pattern, which is the pattern of the, what is the pattern of the black keys? Right. That pattern is very, I want you to visualize that pattern always. Because for you to be able to identify the keys that we are going to identify, you need to remember or master the physical pattern, the pattern of the black keys, which is a 2, 3. They are arranged in 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, right? Then in terms of sound, you need to remember that all notes, can you play any note on the left? Any note on the right? How did we describe the sound?
If the left is low and the right is high.
Right. So keys on the left of a piano, they are low. Keys on the right of a piano, they are high. So meaning to say the low keys on a piano, they are going to be played with your left hand. The high keys on a piano, they are going to be played with your right hand. So it's very important, right? Then we also said, in terms of the sound, when you play all notes one after the other from the lowest uchienda kumberi kupesira to the highest, they are arranged in what we call semitone intervals, right? Which is in chromatics or in half steps apart. Where we said if you play this note, da, da, or this, what we call what? A semitone. So a semitone, we said it's moving a half step or to the next key that is after a certain key that you are coming from, right? Now, having understood this, it is very important. We said how many keys are on this piano?
61.
This piano that we are using, it has got, or this keyboard we are using, it has got 61 keys. But in music, how many keys do we have?
12.
In music, we have 12 keys in which a song can be sang or composed, right? So as a piano player, when you want to learn or when you want to play the piano, you need to know how to identify the keys on the piano physically. Are we together? Yes. We are going to talk about identifying the keys by ear. When someone sings, you are going to choose which key they are singing in by just playing the notes. But for now, what we are worried about, our first thing that we want to learn is to learn how to identify the keys on the piano naturally by just looking at the piano without pressing any function or any button. We need to just see the keys. And we said there is a relationship between the black keys and the white keys. The pattern of the black keys will help you to know the names of the white keys, right? And the names of the white keys, they will help you to know the black keys. And we said how many keys do we have in music?
12.
And in this 12 keys, we talked about 7 and 5. 5 are what?
Sharp.
Right. The 5 are sharps or flats. What about the 7?
Natural.
7 are natural. And where do we get these natural keys?
On the white keys.
So the natural keys are on the white keys, and the sharps and or flats, they are on the black keys. What about the names of the natural keys? Where do we get them?
On the first number of the first number alphabet.
First 7 letters of the alphabet. So the first 7 letters of the alphabet, that's where we take the names that we are going to be using in music, including those other 5. Are we together?
Yes.
And we said on the music alphabet, we are going to be using A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. But when we are on the piano, which key do we have to first find?
C.
We have to first identify the C. And where do we find the C?
On the left of the 2 black keys.
On the left, C is a white key. On the left of 2 black keys. Can you play all the C's on this piano? Right. Count them. How many are they?
6.
Count, play and count. Right, we have 6 C's on this piano, including that last one. But on these C's, I want you to find the middle C. That's your middle C, right? So that middle C is very important, because that's when you are now seated on the piano, you need to make sure that your thumb, can you put your right thumb on your middle C? Put your thumb, left thumb on below the middle C. So when you are going to play the piano, you are going to play going to the right, to the left. So the right hand will start to play from the right, middle C, going to the right. Then the left hand will play from that below the middle C and to the left. Can you just have fun? Play the white keys only, to the right, to the left, on the white keys. Play using your fingers. So we are going to be using our fingers to play these keys, starting from the middle C. If we were talking of the music theory, the one which you also learned in VPA, have you ever heard of the treble clef? Treble clef and the bass clef. So we are saying the notes that starts from the middle C going onwards, they are written on a treble clef. This is staff notation, right? Then notes that are on the left below the middle C, they are written on a bass clef. But that is not what we are talking about. But that's where it comes from, right? So we are saying the left hand will play notes on the left, then the right hand will play notes on the right of the middle C. Are we together? Now, it is very important that you know the names of these keys. And remember, we said you need to know the order even without an order at random. Play the C, play the F, play the B. So remember what I said, that the C is on the left of the 2, the F is on the left of the 3, then the B. If you know these 3 notes, C, F, and B, it's now easier for you to know the D, the E, which is just after C and before F, and then the G and the A, which is between the 3 black keys, or between F and B. Altogether, you need to know them at random. Then we talked about sharps, where we said a sharp is when you raise a note, a semitone high. You are just moving from a lower note to a note that is higher than that previous note, but in a semitone interval. And that semitone, we call it a half step. Are we together? We call it a half step. So a half step, so we are going to be using either half step or semitone. Later on, we are going to hear the word chromatic, and it's the same thing where we are just moving from the notes that are close to each other. Are we together? So having said that, can you play the C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, A, I said A, is that an A? G, B, I did it for a reason. Now play an A flat. That's not an A flat. Remember, a flat, we said a flat is now a key which is on the left of a white key, or on a key on the left. A semitone low. The rightful key would be a semitone high. So if you want to raise it, to lower it a semitone, we go to the left. Out together. So it is very important. I want you to when you are going to play the piano, you're going to be playing piano in the church, the keyboard. So you need to first identify the key. That is the first. You need to know how or where to find the keys. So the exercise that we did, where you played all the notes from the left to the right and from the right to the left, that you need to continually exercise that. And I want your mind to be glued. Remember, we said these 12 notes are the same as, these 12 are the same as and the last one. So that those sets of 12 keys, they are 5. So this keyboard, we call it, it's a 5-octave keyboard. We are going to talk about octaves in our next lesson, but you need to just know. So when you're now seated on the piano, I want you to focus on what you are seeing. Remember, we said when we play the piano, we were using 3 senses. The sense of sight, the sense of hearing, and the sense of touch. Those are the 3 senses that we want to use. Sense of sight, sense of hearing, and sense of touching, so we need to feel it. To feel, when you touch, you need to feel it, and those are the things that we use. And so you are going to be focused on what the pattern that we have discussed, and also hearing the notes as you have heard. Are we together? So this marks the end of our second lesson. So first lesson and second lesson, it's all about knowing the instrument, where you need to know the pattern of the black keys, how they are arranged, and then you also go on to identify or to label the keys, all the keys on the piano. Remember, at this level, you now know the names of all the keys on the piano. But what's very important is to know your middle C. So whatever you are going to do, just look at this middle octave, or these 12 notes or keys that are on the middle. Are we together? So do you have any question? Have you understood? Do you have any question? Can you ask the question?
You said
I'm not hearing you.
You said the sharp, it is the semitone high, and the flat, it is the semitone low. Is it correct?
It's correct. Okay. So it's just knowing the movement, either to the right. Remember, we said the black keys, they are in between two white keys. So that black key, it's on the right of another white key, also on the left. So when you want a sharp, we are moving from this white note to the right. We are raising it a semitone high. When you want a flat, we are moving from this other note going to the left, and it becomes a flat. So for that reason, the black notes, the black keys on the piano, they've got two names. That's why we call them sharps or flats. So for example, this is your C sharp. It can be either a C sharp because it's on the right of a C, or it can also be a D flat because it's on the left of a D. It's on the left of a D. So at this level, in terms of identifying keys, this is where we get. However, later on, we are going to talk about identifying keys by ear. Can you say play by ear? So play by ear is whereby a singer is singing, like what happens in church. Someone is singing. When singers are singing, not all of them know their keys. Or even if they know, they might not get the chance to come to talk to you, to tell you which key they want to sing in. So they may just start a song. So you are supposed to be listening to what they are singing. Then amongst the 12 keys from the middle octave or from any octave that you choose, you are going to play each note and try to match the key in which a person is singing. So we call it play by ear. Are we together? That's what we are going to talk about. It maybe once you have started to play something. But for now, we end at this level where you are now able to identify the names of every key. Why is it important? It is because in music, you cannot do anything outside a key. So the first thing that you should come to your mind, okay, I want to play. In which key am I going to be playing it? Are we together? In which key are you going to be playing it? Are we together? So that's what we are going to cover when we cover the topic, play by ear.